So here's the title for this segment. macOS is great. Unless you try to use it as a desktop operating system.
Oh.
Because my experience using the MacBook, actually pretty solid. As long as I use it as a MacBook. But one of the things that I noted on the shopping video, where I went through all of my different options, was a prevailing sentiment from the audience was, Linus, right out of the gate, you're doing this wrong. Nobody buys a Mac Mini and a MacBook, like two cheap devices. Anyone with an ounce of sense would buy one good MacBook and then a dock. And so I kind of went, okay, that actually works pretty well for my month experiment, because I don't really need...
Kind of annoying to switch devices.
Because I wanted to use my Mac at home as well. And so what, I'm going to go buy like 3 Macs now? No.
Yeah,
What I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy the Mac Mini at home, and then at work, where I carry a backpack, commuter backpack, lttstore.com, where I carry a commuter backpack anyway. I'm just going to carry my MacBook around. I'm going to dock it in my office and then use it as a laptop. And what's been really nice about that is that I never have to think about charging this thing, because it charges whenever I'm docked. I've got all my peripherals plugged in, and the whole thing is really seamless. In theory. This is the part where we get into what is just 2 days of notes and is already like 2 full pages of densely formatted text in my what things are like switching to macOS. And you know what? I want to preface this. Calm the fuck down.
This segment was helpful when we did the iPhones.
I want to preface this by saying a lot of these things I haven't even looked into a fix yet. Because right now, what I am doing is I am experiencing macOS as it is,
raw,
out of the box.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, actually, there are a couple of things I've had to fix already because I just could not handle it. But for the most part, I haven't even tried to find mitigations yet. So that doesn't mean don't pipe in the chat with your ideas about how I could fix them. Absolutely, I want to see that, because I want to have the best possible macOS experience. I'm just saying that if I say something that it turns out is not the case, it might be that I had a weird edge case. It might be that I haven't Googled it yet. These are raw notes. They're raw notes. Unlocking with the watch, pretty nice. It's one of those things where, like, would I buy a watch expressly for that purpose? Absolutely not. But it is pretty convenient to just like sit down at my desk and my computer's unlocked.
Because you're close?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more expensive than a webcam with Windows Hello, face recognition, but like...
Webcam that's already built in anyways?
Yeah, well, I mean, this uses Touch ID. So you just press the power button anyway, unless you dock and then don't press the power button, but then also, like, managing the screen is a pain in the butt. Have you used a Mac recently?
No.
Okay, so
nice lady that lives across the hall sometimes has computer problems, and she has a Mac, so I try to fix them. But I'm not using it for my own stuff.
Did you know that if you plug in an external display and leave this open, you cannot turn this off? The only way to turn it off is to close it and leave it docked. The computer will stay on, and you don't have to configure anything for that behavior, but your only options are mirror and extend. You can't just be like, no.
Weird.
Be off now.
Odd.
And dude, I cannot actually believe that this is still a thing. But the way that it handles resolution configuration, you do not configure a display resolution and then configure scaling. You just set a resolution and it outputs the native resolution of the display, but scales it as if it were that.
Does it at least
resolution.
tell you what the native is?
So I don't know if it's my dock or if it's just macOS being a giant steaming pile of garbage, but sometimes
docks can confuse things.
Sometimes when I plug in, it knows that 4K is the maximum and remembers that the last time I configured it to 4K so that I have lots and lots of screen real estate. And sometimes it comes up with these like oddball rando resolutions. It doesn't seem to be related to which of my 2 ports I plug into. So I'm not ready to make a statement there.
Yeah. Let's go through some of your things.
Well, I mean, I am. That's what I'm doing.
Right,
that's one of them. So, but what's inconvenient about that is that, say I had a display like my one that I have, which is a 4K 165 hertz display, or 144 hertz, or something like that.
That's your work desk monitor?
Yeah, it's a 42-inch OLED.
All right.
I only have one.
Okay.
How many monitors do you have at work?
Well, across both my desks.
Okay, yes.
I have 3.
Okay, so I have one monitor. So calm down. So I have one monitor. It's a nice monitor, but it's one monitor. So on a PC, I would be able to make a choice. Let's say I had a slower, earlier generation HDMI link. I could say, okay, hey, run it at 1080p, let the display scale, or use like 4:1 pixel perfect integer scaling. That's the word I'm looking for. And then run it at 120 hertz. Or I could say run at 4K, run at 60 hertz. I'd rather have the resolution. On a Mac, I cannot find an obvious way to do that. And I will look into it. Someone's sending me a Synaptics product, DisplayLink Graphics.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Who knows?
I'm gonna have to like start making some notes here, guys. Oh my goodness, chat's moving too fast. Anyway, on macOS, there's not an obvious way for me to deal with that. And that's pretty frustrating. I can't find an obvious way to even configure 120 hertz in the first place. Like my external monitor just runs at 60 hertz, but I can't tell if that's because the HDMI port on my dock is limited to that or not. So I haven't really looked into that in detail yet. All right. So what else we got here? Oh my God. Okay, this makes me legitimately extremely angry. So Luke, go ahead and like scroll this document, in a way that you would, 2 fingers on the trackpad, like you would. Okay, that feels right? Okay, so that is Apple's natural scrolling, right? So where up is down and down is up, like it was a touchscreen. Okay, and that's the default behavior. But if you haven't used a Mac in a while, you might not know this. If you plug in a mouse, it's the same. Down is up and up is down on the scroll wheel, which is not how that's ever worked in the history of anything other than on Apple's like touch mice. Okay. You can change that. No problem.
Okay.
You can change that. You can change it from natural to not natural, but if you change the toggle for your mouse, it changes it for your touchpad. And if you change it for your touchpad, it changes it for your mouse. Oh my God. Why?
That's pretty.
Like, why? They are not the same thing. People are pointing out you can use linear mouse or another free software. It won't toggle both. Yes, I will note that down and I will use that. I should not have to do that. That should be a thing that just be, and the stupidest part is that if you go into the system settings, they are 2 completely separate menus. There's one for trackpad, and when you have a mouse plugged in, the mouse menu appears and you go in there and that option is there. They are 2 separate submenus, but when you change them in one, it changes it in the other one.
I find it kind of interesting because Windows is kind of like last place right now in regards to, in my opinion, how often people do customizations to OS functionality. Not that that's a race that you necessarily want to win. I don't know. But like, I never really hear people talking about like, I don't know. Rain meter is more just like stylistic, but there's been a lot of things over the years that you can do to Windows to make it work in different ways. And Linux is obviously somewhat famous for it, but you always hear, like if you express any issue with Mac, people know about some app, probably paid, that you can get that'll solve your problem. It might be like $3 or something. Like it's probably not a huge deal, but damn. I
shouldn't need that to do something that Apple literally built the functionality for, but then just decided to half-arse it. Oh man, here's one that I had to fix right away.
I do think this this Moss thing that people are linking, I think it's free and open source. So that's cool.
I installed sensible side buttons on the first day.
Sensible side buttons.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Because by default, my third-party mouse, just a Logitech Superlight, didn't have back and forward functionality on the side buttons.
They just didn't do anything?
It's like, brother, the first mouse I ever owned with a side button on it to go back in the browser and in File Explorer and stuff
Worked immediately.
came out in 2003. That was, I kid you not, 22 years ago. To plug in a mouse and not have it immediately understand back and forward is, well, insane. It's not sensible. There, that's what I was looking for. It's not sensible. So I have a third-party app that will fix that. Someone says, not even with Logi options installed. I don't care. No other Linux, Windows, like fucking Android. Okay, you could plug in a mouse and the basic buttons will work. Yeah, sure, your like macro functionality or whatever probably won't.
Yeah.
And you know how sensible side buttons works? It emulates like a 3-finger swipe because the functionality doesn't appear to exist for the mouse in macOS. That's just negligent. That is negligent. W. Calderini says, Apple really, really, really wants you to use the Apple mouse. And that's nice. And if they want that, then they should build a mouse that doesn't destroy my wrist. That's not an option for me. I literally will not. Or you need to like help this turtle in order to charge it. Because you still have to do that, don't you? Yes. This is great. One of my notes says, repeat rate is so slow for keys like backspace. Oh my God, I need third-party software. Dude, holding down the backspace, delete key, is infuriating. I am literally like dying as I wait for the cursor to nom up all the characters that I've typed. It looks like I need third-party software for that, but I have not really looked that. I've not looked that close into that. Let's see what else we got. I ran into a super weird bug. Did I pull you in to show you this? The text clarity bug? No, I think I did. Yeah. Dude. That was very odd. That was weird. I took a video on my iPhone. I'm not going to send it to you guys right now. Hard to understand what even happened. Yeah, like the browser rendering like completely bunged up. But only on part of it. Super buggy. It was only in certain tabs, so it was definitely browser related. It seems like a Safari bug. And I'm using Safari because I am having that's its own challenge. The Mac experience. That is its own challenge. Speaking of rendering issues, other browsers on a Mac. Here, I'll send this one to Dan. This will be a teaser. Like, dude, Apple, seriously, this is a genuine conflicts of interest. Be damned, Apple. I am genuinely offering to come in and work for you guys for a week as a consultant. I will give you a to-do list of just sensible ass fixes that you guys can make to macOS that will genuinely improve the experience of your product. I will do it for free. I will come down to Cupertino. I will do it for free. And I guarantee you, based on how much stuff that I found in like 3 hours, it will be some of the most valuable time that your developers have ever spent with anyone, because I don't know what it is. Is it that your users are afraid to tell you this stuff, or that that your staff doesn't care, or people are just so used to these stupid workarounds that they don't see them anymore? I don't know what it is, but you clearly need an outsider's perspective, because the fact that, Dan, check this out.
What the heck? No.
Do you see the thing I just sent you in Teams?
Yeah.
Okay, so bring it up.
I'm upset.
I didn't realize he had sent you something. So when he was like,
Steve Jobs.
What?
Steve Jobs would be rolling in his fucking grave.
Oh, because the padding
seeing
thing.
This. Look, the Apple fucking logo is cut off.
Oh, no way.
Look at this. The top left here.
Wait, it's not cut off.
No, it's not. Sometimes The logo gets cut off.
Wait, really? Why does it move at all?
What a great question, Luke.
It's OLED safe, like the WAN banner.
Yeah, why does overscan exist? I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Logo and it just goes off the screen.
Isn't that wild, dude? Isn't that wild?
You know, I would respect it if it was OLED safe, but the fact that it would go off the screen is insane.
Yeah.
And it's
Can't
just
do
the
that.
logo, not any of the other top bar text. Yeah.
And you look how much padding it has on my built-in display.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Initially, I was like, oh, you know what it probably is because Apple has their stupid rounded displays and this is a square corner one or something. That's not it, because I went and checked on Alex's system because he's also doing the 30-day challenge and his is fine. And he has never seen it.
How do any of their products have bugs? They only have to make them for one device.
It
just drives me nuts.
It's wild. Disk management is terrible. I mean, disk management is kind of terrible on Windows as well, but I had a Linux formatted USB drive and I basically put it in and it like read all the files and everything, but I couldn't copy anything to it. I couldn't erase it. I couldn't reformat it. The flow was wrong. So when I couldn't do it, it sent me to a tool that didn't even bring me to the USB drive. It just took me to the like system settings for my boot drive. Completely useless. Completely sent me in the wrong direction. It might as well have been like a fix-it wizard from Windows XP. Completely useless. Oh man.
Cypher Colt said, "Is it a pixel shift to protect the panel?" No,
absolutely not.
Dan and I were just talking about that.
Oh,
even
absolute
if it was,
joke. Yeah, no.
Even if it was, you wouldn't have to make it go off the screen.
Well, no, the panel would do it. So
I see.
Apple wouldn't be able to control that.
I see. That's definitely still
But
not what's happening.
it's only the logo.
Based on the other thing. Yeah, exactly. Based on the other things that are on the screen, that's not what happened.
I will
No,
double check. I will make sure before I actually, crucify Apple for cutting off their own logo in their interface.
Well, that doesn't fit the design language. And as you said, Steve would be rolling over.
Steve would be livid if he saw the Apple logo get cut off. Livid. And that's not even like debatable. You literally cannot debate this. Imagine.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way. Like, people would potentially be fired over something that egregious. You do not
Screaming.
You do not do
bet.
that. Gray Sim says it's not only the logo, and I think you might be right. So I think it might be down to the weird display scaling issues that I'm having. So I will investigate, but it shouldn't happen
Can you show
with
the photo
any kind
again?
of display scaling.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's less margin on top of Safari as well.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Either way, I will look into it, but this is not a desired behavior, and I think that's too much to be OLED pixel shift, but I will check. Oh my God.
They're definitely right. It's not just
The
logo.
acceleration on the mouse scroll wheel
Well, that's the first thing I asked you.
is infuriating. If you do it, because they
I
use
didn't even realize.
they use momentum like on a touch interface. And it's ironic, right, for computers that don't have touch screens.
Touchpads.
Yeah, they have touchpads. So it uses what? Start listening. Like,
Can you not close that?
yeah, this is amazing. Okay,
I was
welcome
just looking
to
like,
Apple
how
Music.
do you close it?
So they have, they have like close this thing, interface, but sorry, you want to? Okay, no, well, yeah, sometimes the red button just like goes away, and you need to use the top bar because, like, I talked about this a lot in my iPhone challenge video, where it's like, look, if you want to have your logic for doing things, fine. There needs to be consistency.
Yeah.
If you're going to have your little stoplights and the red one closes this window, and you saw that, it literally had the stoplights, but the red one was grayed
Blanked
out.
out the red one.
F***ing why? If you know it's supposed to be there, you clearly know what I want to do, let it close.
No.
But no, I have to go up to the top.
You're not allowed.
That's not okay. That is just bad design. And again, it's not debatable.
Is Command Q like Alt F4?
Yeah. Inconsistent design is bad design. That's it.
Someone in chat saying Command Q everything, or else it doesn't fully close the application.
Dan, do you want to get rid of the screenshot?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I thought Command Q was more like Control W, and then there's like Command something Q, which is more like Alt F4.
I don't know. I haven't had to use it yet.
It's been a long while.
Unsure.
Let's see, what else we got? Oh man, the acceleration on the scroll wheel. I haven't looked into that one yet. Hopefully there's a fix for that, but it is infuriating.
Oh, it's more like Control Q on Linux. Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
Command W. So that's like Control W on Windows.
Capturing screenshots was pure pain the first time I did it because basically, this actually like still makes me mad. I asked Alex, which was my first mistake, and he goes, "Oh, it's Command Shift 5, I think, or something like that." No. He told me 3, I think. It's Command Shift 3 to get a screen. Yeah, there you go. So it pulls up the screenshot here, and then I was looking at this interface, and there's like no obvious way to save this. Right? So there's like share, which is not really what I want to do, delete, markup, whatever this means, and close. So there was no like obvious way to save it. And I was like, okay, so like, is it saved already? Is it saved automatically? So
Wait, but they don't have the traffic lights for close? It's just like an X?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's really, really good UI design.
It's weird.
I didn't even notice that part. That's good though. Yeah. Anyway, I was like, okay, well, did it save somewhere? Here, I'll just open Finder and I'll find out. But my Finder wasn't like that. It was like this. So I opened Finder.
Wait, what? Is it behind the screen?
And then I was like, okay, well, did it open? Here, new Finder window. But it didn't do it like that. It did it like behind it again. So I was like, what?
What?
But I can move this. Hold on. If I click on it twice, first you have to click on a window to make it the focus window.
Oh.
Then you have to click again in order to move it. And then I was like, okay, it's behind this. And then I ran into a really funny one. So I was able to, I forget. Did I screen record this? I was able to edit the text in this window unless I had this one as the focus. I forget. But basically I could interact with a window behind it, except when I couldn't. And so it's just, and what's funny is that this screenshot preview, it's like an app. Like you can mark up a screenshot and you can share and you can do this stuff, but it also isn't an app because if you look up at the top bar, it's still Safari up here. So I cannot quit this app by going up here.
That's what Apple calls a preview window that stays on top of other windows. Couldn't tell you why they do that. I mean, yeah, that's a feature in Windows as well. They just don't use it very often because it's incredibly annoying.
Yeah. It's it's a really bad experience. Well, what it is it's an inconsistent experience.
And a lot of other people are saying that you don't have to click twice, but I mean, I've seen him do it like a million times. And when he tries to select it the first time, literally nothing happens. So I'm not sure. Maybe that's a configurable thing.
Maybe it's depending on where you click. Because I'll usually go for the bar and I'll want to move something.
Right.
And it looks like I have to make it the focus and then click again. It doesn't...
Yeah, Bonkies is saying I haven't clicked twice in ever.
I mean, you guys just watched me do it, so...
I have to be clear, obviously he is clicking twice. We've seen him click twice, but I've seen him try to click once and it doesn't do anything.
So, yeah. So,
no, it's PEBCAC error, but you guys... why?
You guys literally watched me try to drag it there. Like, I did try to do it and it didn't work and I had to go back and get it and move it. So
maybe it's clicking on the name of the window?
Maybe.
So you can't click just anywhere on the bar. You have to click right on the name.
Maybe there's a particular spot. This is one that like needs more investigation, but I've definitely run into it.
Okay. Yeah. Apparently, Command Shift 4 is like snipping tool where you can select a portion.
Well, that's why I said part of my problem was I listened to Alex, who's a new Mac user.
So he said 5.
Command Shift, he said 3.
Oh.
So Command Shift 5 is also pretty good. That brings up like screen capture, which is built into Mac OS.
That's cool.
How is it even possible that screen capture is not built into Windows yet?
Yeah. No, that's genuinely cool.
How is that even possible?
Every Windows user is just OBS built.
Like, unbelievable. They should not have to be.
It's like one of the first apps I install on my computer now.
OBS's interface is so obtuse compared to, something slick and built in.
No, that genuinely like looks really nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, it's unreal.
I like it.
Urban Fervor says, I think it's built into Windows 11 now. I'm gonna have to check. I have not seen an obvious place for it. Someone says Windows G. Isn't that the game bar? Hold on.
Yes, it's built into the game bar.
Oh my God, I hate the game bar. Literally, the game bar is so horrible that I would never want to use it. It's also Windows Alt
Windows
R.
Alt R, yeah.
Windows Alt R.
I use Windows Shift S all the time for taking screenshots too.
I think it's working. Well, where's the interface for this?
I don't see it at all.
How do I?
Up, top right for me.
Oh my God, you have to wait, no. How do I?
If you hit Windows R again,
How the hell do I like interact with this thing?
you don't.
Well, that's stupid.
Just stop the recording with the same
stop
shortcut.
recording button, and it's just gone. I'm assuming it's in videos.
Sorry, was
now.
it Windows Alt R?
I think that's the recording one. Windows Shift R.
Windows Alt R. Yeah, Windows Alt R, and it just like goes. How the hell do you configure it? Recording.
So mine worked. Yeah, just when you click stop, it just goes to your videos folder under captures.
Man, is Windows search ever useless?
That feels a little clunky.
Searching for recording yields record audio when I record a game. You capture mouse cursor in game. Game captures maximum recording length. Fix some problems with the game bar setting. Okay, game bar settings I think is maybe what I was looking for. Help with game bar.
Looks like no.
Oh my God, why is this so hard to find? Stop.
I love computers.
Windows G. Okay, so like, can I configure it here? Settings. Oh, don't do that. Settings. Hello? Capture. Settings, maybe? Was that the settings? Did I make the settings go away? Did I click? No.
I think settings is what you recorded last time, actually.
Settings.
Seriously. Oh no, that's what it will record.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to click this and I can't.
No. That is not a settings button.
Yeah.
It's because the window below you, what you're going to record is settings. Like mine says the perpetual WAN show live stream document.
Oh, hilarious. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Gaming features? This is horrible. Why is this so hard to just configure?
Someone said it's built into snipping tool. Oh, settings in the bar at the top right-hand corner of the bar.
Yeah, I know. I found it.
Okay.
That's it right here, but it's not in there. Like, there's no configuration for screen recording. How is this so stupid? Man.
Oh, no.
It's like people don't use these products, you know? Okay, so...
Windows Shift R is the better one. Isn't that what we just did?
Snipping tool. Oh, yeah,
snipping tool.
Snipping tool can do...
Oh, but snipping tool is record.
Okay. Settings. Yeah, I haven't played around with snipping tool much lately. Been a ShareX guy for a while. Here we go. Okay. HDR color corrector. Okay, this has some stuff in it. Where the devil do I, like, change any encoding settings or anything?
I think that's a no.
Okay. Yeah, this could be better on Windows as well. Like, again, I've said this a lot of times, and for some reason it doesn't work, but I'm going to say it again just for fun. Just because I have a bunch of gripes about macOS does not mean, in fact, that I hate hot dogs. Or actually, no, it doesn't mean I like hot dogs. I might hate everything. Everything might be terrible.
Everything is awful.
So yeah, this is something that could obviously be better on the Windows side of things. All right, what else we got here? Oh, dude, the fact that the Mac App Store and the Safari extension store are jumbled together is mind-blowing to me.
That sounds horrible.
I searched for Keeper in the App Store, and it came up with a Safari extension and a desktop application. Are you kidding me?
Is that bad?
Yeah, that's really stupid.
Why is it that
Especially because it wasn't obvious.
Okay. I was going to say, is it clearly delineated?
Like, one of them was obviously for Safari, and the other one was just like Keeper. It's like, okay, so I've got Keeper and Keeper for Safari. What does that even mean?
Solve that with just like a pretty simple tagging system.
Yeah.
It seems easy to solve.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that they've done it, but
yeah, it seems very, very solvable.
yeah.
Oh man, volume adjustment doesn't work on my external display. Definitely need a little bit more diagnosis there. but literally doesn't work with my scroll wheel on my keyboard. Doesn't work with the volume adjuster in the corner. Like it's there, but it's just grayed out. It's kind of like when you connect to a Bluetooth speaker and it just kind of maxes it out, assuming that you'll do volume control on the external device, except that configuring volume level on the like nipple on the bottom of my monitor is not very convenient for me because I use my monitor's built-in speakers. Very annoying. Some other people in chat are saying they have some issues with that as well. Apparently I need Display Buddy to fix some of my issues. I'm going to write down Display Buddy here.
Why do you have to install so many programs?
Right? I thought it just works. Doesn't it just work? I thought it just works, right? Doesn't it just work, Dan?
Isn't that Todd Howard?
Oh my God. Paste as plain text is not a right-click context menu option. You have to press, and I kid you not, Command-Alt-Shift-V.
What? No.
It's also apparently not supported everywhere, so there's a horrible terminal workaround that I found on Reddit.
Someone in full plane chat, I lost their message, but they mentioned that like this segment was painful because blah 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 blah, and no Mac users use Safari.
What are you even talking about?
2023, Safari was the second most used web browser. And the amount of people that have Macs versus other types of PCs is like way lower. So as far as my understanding goes, an actually huge percentage of Mac users use Safari.
It's really, really, really interesting to hear people say, no one, this thing that I don't do.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that if no one was using Safari on the desktop.
Safari mobile, interesting point.
Absolutely. Yeah, Safari Mobile is definitely a thing, but people definitely use Safari. Don't kid yourself. Many people just use whatever the included apps are on their computer or phone or whatever. Like, why do you think Internet Explorer, in spite of being such a steaming pile of garbage for so many years, held on to its market share?
Still has like 10%.
Because people just use whatever's in front of them. Do not kid yourself. People use Safari. All right, what else we got here?
No, it's desktop users. Apparently almost 12% of desktop user market share is Safari.
Yeah, that's such a non-take that people don't use it. Oh man. Middle click press to get like a scroll thing to when you move your mouse and scroll. Not a thing. Such a downer.
That's annoying. I use that a lot.
I use that all the time.
There's a lot of very conflicting stats on browser market share. I don't know which one of these is right, but
someone definitely uses it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Someone definitely uses it. Yeah, so I mean I'm going to find all kinds of things I like maybe eventually. I haven't really found any yet. But I'm sure I'm going to like something about it. I definitely like the hardware. Like the MacBook itself is great.
Always has been, really, to be honest. PC laptops have been struggling.
Yeah.
Forever, basically, compared to MacBooks.
HP's got a really cool one that uses the same...
Those fingerprints on that screen are like actually bothering me.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not even a touchscreen. Why are they there?
Oh.
Watch this.
Oh.
I'll clean it after.
Steve is rolling in his grave because of that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe that's why they're not touchscreens.
Oh yeah, HP has a super cool machine that uses the same processor as the new Framework desktop, Strix Halo from AMD. That thing looks sick in a Framework investment disclosure. But man, that HP machine looks amazing. It's one of only 3 devices I've seen so far with Strix Halo, and as far as I can tell, I just love Strix Halo, and everything should just have Strix Halo now. As long as you don't mind the price. It's very, very expensive. I don't know, actually. I saw it at CES, but that doesn't mean that it's out.
Yeah.
No, reviews just dropped earlier. Strix Z2, ZBook, Strix Halo. I'm not seeing anywhere to buy it yet. Does anyone know if you can actually buy this thing yet?
What is it called again?
Let me see. ZBook Ultra 14 GI? Ugh.
What a name.
I know, right? ZBook Ultra 14. Here it is. Mobile workstation PC. Coming soon. Yeah, not yet, but this thing looks freaking awesome. Like it's what is this? I scrolled and it opened a freaking video. No, I must have accidentally clicked.
Yeah.
50 NPU tops Ryzen AI Max, up to 4 terabytes of storage. Whoa, 128 gigs unified memory. Let's go. Dude, this thing looks incredible. It's super thin. The battery life is actually decent. And according to Alex, the performance is still pretty okay.
Looking comparatively to the USB ports, it looks like they didn't 100% prioritize thinness, which I'm actually kind of down with.
Yeah.
It doesn't look thick.
Well, they needed, I mean, this thing will do up to 120 watts, Strix Halo. So I think they landed, don't quote me on this. I think they landed around 75 for this chassis.
Apparently Tom's Hardware says $2,700.
Yeah, it's not going to be cheap. I mean, that's the thing is I've seen a lot of criticism toward Framework investment disclosure for their pricing, just about the desktop in general. And I've seen people dunking on them for the pricing, but I think the thing that people are missing here is that this LPDDR5 that they're using in this configuration with Strix Halo, is it LPDDR5 or LPDDR5X? I can't remember.
It's funny because you have to say that to like show potential bias or whatever, but you having to say that is probably like the most valuable thing to Framework.
You haven't watched the video, have you? Narav says that point blank. He's like, oh, that's great. The more disclosures, the better.
It's honestly like, it's just the consistency of it is insane. if any other laptop gets any talking point ever, Framework also gets a talking point. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, now that they make a desktop, I think we legitimately have to kind of talk about how to deal with this, because I can't do a Framework disclosure every single time I talk about a laptop or a desktop computer.
Can we?
But why don't we save that for the actual like Framework announcement section of the WAN show, though?
I never thought about.
Anyway,
that.
the point is, people are giving Framework a hard time about the desktop, but they're actually being extremely fair about their pricing for the upgrades. And their pricing in general, like this laptop we're looking at, what did you say, starts at $2,800?
27, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah, the Framework desktop, actually, let's see, is their site up? Is it frame.work? Yeah. Desktop, here we go. Pre-order now. Yeah, this thing starts at like $1,600. And yes, it doesn't have a display, and yes, you have to add your own storage and OS, but like it's still pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah.